Okay, so now that we got all the talking out the way, let's talk Photoshop. Let's get into Photoshop. As you can see right now, this is my dashboard. And when you open Photoshop, this is what you're greeted with. Might not look like mine's because I do have documents on here that I've worked on previously. So this is my recent tab here that you are seeing. But I'm going to show you how to navigate this thing and set up a document. All right, so let's jump into it and learn. So let's jump right into it. So when you first open up Photoshop, you're greeted with this, like I said, and over here on the top line here, don't worry about this. Once we get in the software, we'll go over all these files, edit images, image layers. We'll go over all that when we get into the software. But first, you're greeted over here. This is the home tab. And then you got two buttons over here that I want you to pay attention to. And that's the create new and then the open. Basically, the difference with create new and open, it's simple. Just like it says, is you're creating a new document. That's where you would go. And then if you want to open something that you have worked on in the past, you would go to open. So for today, because we're doing this for the first time, we're going to jump onto the create new. So I'm going to hit my create new tab, and underneath for create new, this is what you see. You have this dialog box here that from the top, it has your recent, anything that you've worked on, all your past documents are going to be listed here with different dimensions and everything. And then it has saved, photos, print, art and illustration, web. Those are just presets that are given to you. But again, we're going to go over to our recent tab. Or let's say if you don't have a recent tab, you can just go to art and illustration. And then the important things here is what's over here on the right side. The right side is where you set this thing up to really to get started. This is where you're going to set up your document. First thing, we're going to name this thing here. I like to name it and just to keep things labeled and organized when we get into the software. So I'm going to name this just Photoshop Course 1. Just maybe just the first document that we're going to set up. And then as first, you're going to see pixels. It's going to be listed in pixels, but because we're doing this around t-shirts, I'm going to be working out of inches. Okay, so over here, I'm going to just click on inches. As you can see right here, I'm going to click on here, I'm going to click inches, and then I'm going to set up my inches tab. So you might not know for sure what diameter you want to use. When it comes to t-shirt designs, I find it easy to optimize the page, and most of the time you'll see people will work from 11 by 17, or they would be working at 13 by 19. You choose the one that you're gonna use, but for us today we'll be doing the 11 by 17. So I'm gonna set my width at 11, and I'm gonna set my height here at 17. Okay, and then I'm going to keep it. It's automatically going to switch the orientation to portrait, which is the one that goes up and down, as you can see here. And then the next tab here that is important, and what I want you to realize when it comes to resolution is 300 or 72. Those two numbers is what I want you to always have in your head. Okay, so 300 dpi. 300. Just worry about this. Remember the number 300 when you're going to print something. That's the resolution you want to be at. And then when you're going to do something for web, like share it digitally on Instagram, you're going to design something for Facebook, something that's just going to stay on the web, you want to keep that at 72. So we're back over here, and then I'm going to keep, because I said we're going to keep it for print, so we're going to keep this at 300. Okay, you can just click in here, double type the number, 300. You don't have to change anything here. It automatically should be on dots per second, or per inch. And then you come to the color mode. So when it comes to the color mode, there are there's a bunch of options in here, but the one that I want you to set up initially is RGB. Okay, so you wanna set up your document at RGB when you're designing, because the colors play well in that range: RGB, red, green, blue. Okay, but then when you're going to print it, you can switch that up in the software and change the color mode to CMYK, because most printers are going to ask you for your design to be in CMYK, or your printer itself, whatever printer you're using, it's set for CMYK. So we're going to set this at RGB, like I said. CMYK, you can change it once you're in the software. Then they got bitmap, they got grayscale, they have all those other things, but I just want you to always remember CMYK at your initial setup. Anything you're designing, the colors are more accurate at RGB. And then you come over here to the background content. So what you can do here, you can set it at white, black. You can choose a background color, and then for us right now, we're going to just keep it on. Okay, so I'm going to keep mine on white. And then that's basically all you have to do. That's the only thing you have to mess with in here. You don't have to do anything else. These are all defaults. When you come over here to the advanced tab, you don't have to mess with it. So you never even want to touch the advanced tab, because it's already set for you. So then we're going to go to create. And once we hit create, it's going to bring us into the software. And in the next video, we'll start digging into the dash here and see exactly what we have at our hand.